You get all our heads?
Yes, it is.
You get my bald head?
Yeah. Hello. The purpose of my speech is to persuade my audience as to why those who decide to text and drive deserve a mandatory prison sentence of at least 5 to 10 years in prison. Imagine you start out your day going to Starbucks to pick up your favorite coffee or breakfast sandwich, and then you decide to go home and rest for a while before you go to your parents' house for dinner. After dinner, you're thinking about what you're going to wear on your date tomorrow night with your crush. As you're driving down the road and approaching an active intersection, you receive a Snapchat and a text notification from your crush. Your heart is so filled with butterflies that you can't decide which one to open first. You decide to open up the text notification, but you can't remember what it says because you can't feel your feet. As you wake up from your medically induced coma done to prevent your brain from swelling, you overhear a fog of conversations between doctors, debating whether you will be able to keep your left eye or whether your health insurance will be able to cover a total hip replacement. As soon as you are cognitive, you are forced to talk to lawyers regarding your upcoming court date. But due to your current health condition, you were unable to attend an in-person court trial. However, you are able to attend one virtually on Zoom. And for your convenience, you were given a cell phone identical to your old one. That way you can watch and listen to the judges and family's testimony that you impacted with your careless decisions. When a person decides to text and drive, they choose a dolorous fate for other people around them, death in some cases. And this is why this selfishness needs to be punishable by a 5 to 10 year prison sentence. First, I will discuss the real dangers of texting and driving and how it impacts the people around the perpetrator, and how, if caught, they deserve a mandatory prison sentence of at least 5 to 10 years. According to Mandy Slate's article, Texting and Driving Statistics, she estimates that there are around 300,000 drivers holding a phone to their ear or texting and driving at any given moment. The CDC estimates that around 3,000 people are killed in car accidents every year due to texting and driving. Too many people die in car accidents every year from texting and driving, and this is why there needs to be stricter punishments to lower these numbers and save people's lives. People use their cell phones in vehicles for any number of reasons, whether this be for texting, listening to music, logging into social media. Regardless of the case, none of this is excusable as to why someone would knowingly go into public and subject other people to such dangers. Phones distract people from the road. According to the Florida Teen Safe Driver Coalition, 11 teenagers are killed in car accidents every day as a result of texting and driving. Also, according to the Florida Teen Safe Driver Coalition, it estimates that texting and driving causes 6 times more accidents than drunk driving. This is a serious issue that needs to be resolved, and until it does, more people are going to continue to die. Dickerson Oxton, an attorney in the state of Missouri, published an article on his website called, "Is it illegal to text and drive in the state of Missouri?" He wrote that offenders would have to pay a simple fine of $20.50 if caught. This is a relatively light punishment considering the danger that it subjects other people to. There are no laws regarding texting and driving in the state of Montana, and this only encourages the crime as it subjects more people to danger. As you can see, in the state of Arkansas, the fine for texting and driving is $100. The problem is that people are fully aware of the dangers of texting and driving, yet they still decide to participate in the act anyway. According to Edgar Snyder, a personal injury lawyer in the state of Montana, he estimated that around 390,000 people are injured in car accidents from texting and driving every year. He also estimates that texting and driving takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. Traveling at 55 miles per hour, this is enough time to travel the distance of a football field. Stories from an article published on Family Orbit describe some of the tragedies that have arisen from texting and driving. One story described a teenage girl that flipped her truck and was killed in an accident after sending a text message that read only one word, K. Another one described a 7-year-old boy who was struck and left paralyzed by a driver who decided to text and drive. And another one described the story of a passenger who had repeatedly told a teenage girl to stop texting and driving. The girl refused to listen, and as a result ended up running a red light, crashing into another car, and killing the driver. We can clearly see that there is an issue between people who decide to text and drive. We can also see that there is an issue with what's being done in place of law regulations to solve this issue. Here are some solutions that could help solve this issue. Make texting and driving illegal in all 50 states. And if caught, the perpetrator should face a mandatory prison sentence of at least 5 to 10 years. If we were to make the punishment for texting and driving a 5 to 10 year prison sentence, this would significantly lower the number of car injuries and deaths that occur as a result of texting and driving. Even though this punishment may seem harsh, this is a way to save innocent bystanders, other drivers, and even the perpetrators themselves. If we continue to do nothing, here's what could continue to happen. Imagine all the people that we learned about in those tragic stories had lived. The girl may not have flipped her truck. The boy may not have been struck and may still be able to walk. And the girl may not have run through the red light and killed the other driver. So many people would still be alive today had texting and driving had a higher punishment. And this is why this issue is something that cannot continue to go on. We have covered the dangers of texting and driving and what happens and who it affects, and why there needs to be higher accountability regarding the punishments of those who commit this selfishness. A study by an advocate law firm stated that 98% of people who admitted to texting and driving stated that they were fully aware of the dangers that texting and driving presented, yet they still participated in the act anyway. Some states include the punishment of involuntary manslaughter. The word involuntary is defined as done without will or conscious control, yet we can clearly see that the people who commit texting and driving are fully aware of the dangers it presents, even though they know that they could potentially kill or injure an innocent bystander. The reasons that we have prisons is for people who commit irreversible violent crimes. Yet it is not an option for people who willingly go out into public and subject other people to such dangers, such as the little boy that was struck and left paralyzed by a driver who decided to text and drive. If you are somebody who thinks that it is okay to text and drive, just remember that there are thousands upon thousands of people who have been directly impacted by the tragedies of texting and driving and would gladly beg to differ with you based on their opinions. I ask you today to please make the mature decision to not text and drive. Thank you.
That's good.